Hi and welcome to another episode of Short and Sweet TV. In this episode we're going to be looking at how to create a chevron pattern. It's a relatively straightforward process. There are a number of ways that you can create chevron patterns, but this is just one method. We're going to start off by creating a stroke, and then we're going to run a filter on that stroke, and then we'll blend the stroke so that it creates multiple strokes in a chevron pattern. So let's get started. I'll jump across now and grab my line segment tool. Selecting that from the tool panel, I'm just going to click and drag, and if I hold shift down to keep it perfectly horizontal, I've now got my stroke. Now if I come across to my stroke panel here, you can see that I've got the weight. I'm going to increase the weight of that stroke. I'll bring it up to 10 points in size. And while I'm here, I've got my swatches panel open as well. I might as well give it a different stroke color, so give it a magenta color. And I'm now ready to run this filter. If I come up to my effect drop down in my menu and just scroll down to the transform and distort, at the very bottom you can see I've got a zigzag option. Select zigzag, and you want to make sure when you're using the zigzag filter I turn preview on. And there we have it. I've got the ability to change how many ridges there are, and also the size of the ridge. So if I drag this up, let's bring it up a little bit higher. Okay, we'll make it at 16 ridges, and as you can see, if I drag that right up, I can make them quite steep or shallow. I might put them at around 5. Looks about right. And you want to make sure that the corner, or the point is set to corner rather than smooth. With smooth it'll create a wave effect, so I'll leave that set to corner and click OK. Alright, so the next step is to duplicate this, and shortcut to duplicate is coming across to my selection tool and then just selecting that object, and as I click and drag, if I hold down the Option key on Mac or Alt on PC and just drag that, I'm also holding shift to keep it in vertical alignment, and release that there. Duplicates the line. And now holding down shift, I'm going to also select the line above, so both of these lines are now selected. Okay, so if I come across now to the blend tool over here on the tool panel, I'm just going to double click on the blend tool, and you can see that it's opened up the blend options. And from here I can choose what sort of blend I'd like to create. I want to specify the amount of steps with the blend tool, and it's set to 8 at the moment. I might make it 10. I'll put in 10 steps and click OK on that. And then to generate the blend, I just need to click on the first line segment, come down, click on the second line segment, and there you have it. It's blended those two line segments together, and I have my chevron pattern. So now if I grab my selection tool, I can scale this up or down, and at the moment as I'm scaling, I've actually got my preference set to not scale the strokes in proportion. So what I want to do is come up to my Illustrator preferences, so Illustrator, scroll down to preferences and then to general, and then if I change this preference here, the scale strokes and effects, turn that one on, click OK. So now when I scale, you can see that the stroke scales along with the overall shape and it doesn't distort. So you've hopefully found this tutorial useful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next Adobe Illustrator episode on Short and Sweet TV.